let me start with this, right? One of the most underrated problems of modern life is that, again, nobody can leave you the alone. Nobody, I mean, I don't mean that, and I hate people get away from me type of way, but like, we created a world where you're basically expected to be available and reachable 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your boss can email you, coworkers will Slack you, friends will text you, family can call you, your phone can send you 47 notifications about shit you don't even remember signing up for, and people you don't even remember talking to, right? But if you don't respond, people start wondering what's wrong with you. Like, hey, I'm just checking in. Did you see my message? Everything okay? Like, bro, yes, bro, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine, bro. I had to respond to you for 3 hours. I need the silence to kind of just think. I need to stop looking at my rectangle of death in my pocket for like 5 fucking minutes, or 3 hours, or however long, right? Just let me be. But that's the problem. There's no letting you be at this point in time. And it's because, I mean, and the fact that nobody can let you be, it makes you look suspicious to people for whatever fucking reason. You're the sus one. And you just wanted a couple minutes to yourself. We gotten to the point in society, or at least in this day and age, where being unavailable is almost considered rude in that way. But what does constantly being available actually do to a person? Because I think there's a hidden cost to being reachable all the time, being always available, always on, ready for somebody to contact you, right? It's that level of vigilance that really wasn't apparent to people before our time. Because in the back of the day, if you were going for the day running errands, you were going for the day. And I know that's like a pretty tired talking point at this point, because we all just missed having that level of freedom. But I mean, the truth is the truth. Back in the day, if I was gone, my answering machine was right there, or you just had to wait until I called you back, or try to catch me another time. And that was okay. It wasn't like, oh, this guy's fucking gone, he hates me, he's not responding to my text. Like, no, dog, I'm just enjoying life, enjoying the world. I know it's a little bit harder to do that now, but like, that is still what I was doing, and that's what I intend to be doing. So let me do it. But I mean, let's jump into a couple specific cases here, right? Like emails, for example. Emails are great, and I'm glad we have them, especially when they were kind of tied to a local area, like your computer room in your house or whatever, right? But now it's not just people emailing you from your chat room or your favorite friend group or whatever. It's generally work emailing you all the time. And because we require things to be on our mobile devices, especially for tech jobs, multi-factor authentication and stuff, right? Remember that? Your email's on there. And your boss knows that your email's on there. So here's a scenario. I'm going to set it up for you, right? Boom. You get off work at 5 p.m. You leave the building. You get in your car. You drive home. So you're free and you're clear. You're off the clock. Thank God, thank the Lord, thank whoever you pray to, you're off for the day. You spend the rest of your day doing whatever you want until you clock in the next day, right? But then, out of nowhere, as you're relishing that thought, your fucking phone goes off, and it's a ding from your boss. Hey, quick question. It's never a fucking quick question at all. It's always something that could have waited until the next day or tomorrow or whatever, right? But even if you ignore that, the problem is that you're still thinking about work again. You just left that building, you left the gray cubicle, but that little email sends you mentally back into the same place you just were 30 minutes ago, even when you're physically not there. And honestly, remote work is kind of wild too, because that's just another way for you to be reached, which I prefer remote work, right? But if I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment without a space to make an office officially, it's kind of a little bit harder to separate from that. And I like to go on walks personally. But if I'm going for a walk around my neighborhood, going to give me a little coffee so I can actually do things for the rest of my day that don't really pertain to work, I'm getting emailed by my fucking boss. And I'm like thinking about all the stuff I got to do tomorrow. And I just got off work thinking about the stuff I got to do tomorrow. Like, what? And all I'm saying is to say, like, just seeing that little notification can trigger your thought process of being back at work. And you're trying to de-stress. And then they wonder why we're all burnt out and tired. You don't let me get off work, my guy. You don't let me quit the job for the day. So now my brain's preoccupied. I'm thinking about what to respond. I'm thinking about what I got to do, what I need to do in order to properly respond, because there's always a codex, a code switching that comes in for work that you really can't let go of when you're thinking about these things. And then look at that. It's 2 hours later. You just spent your free time thinking about your job for free. You're giving them labor for free. It's mental labor you're giving them for free. And I don't want to keep it at work, because it's not just a work problem. It's a friend problem too. It's a friend group problem. It's a family problem. Your friends and family have access to you all the time as well. If your boss texts you at 8 p.m., you can blame capitalism. Hell, you can ignore it. because it's work. You're not obligated to text them after 8 p.m. So in any case, if you get, your mental fortitude up, you can learn to live with that. You shouldn't have to, but you can, right? It's different when it comes to friends and family though. It's just about the inverse actually. They know when you're at work and they know when you're off work. And when you're off work, magically your time is dedicated to them, purely for them, So let's take that same scenario. If your friend texts you at 8 p.m., right? If your friend texts you at 8 p.m. and you don't respond, all of a sudden you're an asshole. Dog, I was taking a free shower. I'm getting ready to lay down. I'm getting in my night jammies. I'm trying to have a little cup of cocoa or tea or whatever. I'm gonna lay down. But because we have phones in our pockets all the time, people have, I don't want to even say slowly, it's kind of happened kind of rapidly, started confusing I can reach you with, you're available to me or you should be available to me all the time. And it's not the same thing. It's just not the same thing at all. Just because I have my phone doesn't mean I have the mental energy to talk to you about your day, about my day. Sometimes I just want to be alone and sit with my thoughts. And I'm not trying to sound selfish, but they used to kind of be something that you could do after work or after a task or just whenever you wanted to. And people to understand you need time to yourself to process your day and your emotions that may not be spoken at all. That may be spoken. You maybe need time to process your emotions before you can speak them type of situation. You know what I mean? And we got read receipts on now. Sometimes you'll see the message and they'll see that you see the message and you'll know that they saw that you saw the message. So now you're both playing this 4D chess game of reading the message from notifications to see if it's worth responding to. Sometimes, I'll think about it later. It's something that you have to come to after 15 minutes of looking at the message in your notification bar and deciding whether it's worth it to respond to at that time. Because again, your time is yours and it's sacred and nobody wants to treat it like that. And if you're a bleeding heart like me, and maybe emotional like me, you probably feel guilty for not responding. Because what if it was serious? What if it was crazy? What if it was something that they just wanted to tell you or they were off close to the ledge themselves, you know what I mean? And now you're feeling anxiety, you're getting agita in your system because now you have that anxiety about whether you should have responded to them or not, you know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, if your friend needs help and you know them, of course respond to that, duh. But at the same time, for me personally, if my friends want to talk to me and they text me and I don't respond to the text, they can call me to further promote the urgency, and I'll pick it up okay, they're calling me now, it must be something different. It sets my mind at ease and I can kind of assess the situation a little bit differently and go a bit further from that way. And then I have a session here talking about Slack, but honestly, fuck Slack. I'm not responding to that. That can be filed under the first bullet point of talking to your boss. That's work shit. I'm not fucking answering no goddamn Slack after 8 p.m. Y'all can fuck off. It's work. I'm off the clock. And if it's work related, it can wait until I clock in tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Y'all don't fucking pay me enough to keep fucking checking these messages, gang. I'm not gonna do that shit. But it's not even just in leaving Slack behind, because fuck that. It's not even just people trying to reach you that has your attention. Everything has notification now. Everything has a little ding that goes off. You watching TV? Ding, there it goes. Playing a game? Ding. Cooking dinner? Ding. Trying to sleep? Ding. And you start checking your phone before it goes off because you're trained on the thing like Pavlov's fucking dog, and it's your TV telling you that your show's being recorded, or honestly at this point it's TV trying to sell you a show that they've put on that they want you to watch, so they think that you'll like it based off of your choices that they fucking track when you just watch the TV. Half the time I get notifications for shows and genres that I don't even watch because I was curious one day browsing through the history or the categories or whatever, and it's like, oh damn, you like this? Here's a notification for this show we just dropped. Check it out. Boom, check it out. Boom, check it out. Let me find it myself. God damn it. Let me see. Because now I'm anticipating things to tell me what to do. I'm anticipating notifications from any app that I open up. And I've only opened that app up for maybe a couple seconds at a time on a random Tuesday. Hell, half the time on accident because I forgot the app was on my phone, or it came pre-installed on my phone and I can't fucking uninstall it. So now the whole time I'm back on the job doing tech support, trying to uninstall something on my device, and I'm supposed to be relaxing. Technically I'm relaxing, but my mind's racing and I'm sitting on my phone agitated the entire time. That shit doesn't sound relaxing to me. And I wonder why it doesn't sound relaxing, because I'm not actually fucking resting. I'm consuming, I'm responding, I'm checking, I'm reacting, I'm reaching. I'm constantly being pulled away from what I was doing that I decided to do with my time. And that's the real cost of it all. It's really a subtle manipulation of your time. You know what I mean? The ability to exist without responding to something is kind of fucking lost. The only time you really see that is when you're throwing up on the toilet and you physically cannot go to your phone. That's one of the few times I realized that nobody's bothering me, or it's justified that I was fucking unable to reach my phone because I was throwing up in the toilet bowl. And that's fucked up. It's fucked up. That's become a social expectation to respond to things. You know, that's really what it is. It's the cost to your social bank account or your social currency, right? If somebody calls you, they don't answer, and you don't answer, they expect a call back. You don't owe them a call back, but they expect it. If somebody texts you to respond, they expect a response eventually. You don't really owe them that, but they expect it. If your boss sends you an email and there's an unspoken expectation that you've seen it, you know, you don't owe them a response, but you fucking are expected to respond. If you're online, you're available, dog. If you're at home, you're available because you're not at work. And if you aren't available, you better have a fucking reason, because, sorry, man, I was busy. It's only going to take you so far today, man. People aren't trying to hear that shit anymore, because then they're going to start asking questions, doing what? What were you doing? Where were you? Like, damn, you the police? I got to tell you everything I'm doing now? I'm chilling. That's what I'm doing. That's what I was doing. That's what I'm going to continue to be doing. What you need? But if you say that, you're an asshole. You're bothersome, you know what I mean? You're unreachable and uncommunicatable with, you know? And maybe sometimes that's what you have to be at this point to get your time back, because this shit is OC. It's beyond ridiculous. And I think it's time we started to push back against that a little bit. Again, I'm not saying be a bad friend. I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm telling you to monitor how you interact with people, how you interact with your availability and your free time. You don't owe that to nobody. You really don't. Honestly, maybe your wife, your kids, your dog, and sometimes your parents, but like past the wife, kid, and dog, you gotta let the motherfuckers like take a break and respond when you're ready to respond to them. It's that simple, and I think that's fair. I think it's fair that you should be able to sit in the crib and do nothing without feeling like you're neglecting somebody who's not your child, your wife, or your dog. Cat, excuse me, I don't even have a dog. And honestly, the hidden cost of being available all the time is that you are never really, get that feeling of being alone. I don't mean that in like the good way either. You can physically be alone, but still feel surrounded by everybody, because everybody's in your fucking pocket on your rectangle. Your friends in your rectangle, your boss in your rectangle, your family's in your rectangle, the internet's in your pocket, the whole fucking world is in your pocket, and they're expecting you to be ready to respond to all of them. And eventually you stop having downtime, because your downtime revolves around responding to people that just pull you away from doing stuff that you want to do. Do you remember what you want to do? Sometimes I have trouble doing that. I was sitting around looking at the PS5 screen or Netflix screen, not even watching anything, because my brain's just so tired. I don't have the energy to consume the stuff that I want to consume, the media I want to watch. You know what I mean? Think about stories or think about stuff that I have consumed and reflect on it. I don't have the energy to do so, because everybody's asking me to do whatever. But all I'm saying is there's a cost to not really feeling, like you're alone or being unavailable. There's a difference between being alone and being unavailable. They're not the same thing. And I think that we've kind of forgotten that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to be unreachable. Not because you're mad, but because you're antisocial, none of that. But it's just because, like, you need time where somebody's not fucking begging you to do something or begging you to respond or taking up your mental space. And from that point, I would hope that, I try to be ready to respond, be ready to talk to people, be ready to get, involved with people, because I've taken time to rest and relax my brain so I can do that. But that's enough of me chatting, right? Here's my question to you. When was the last time nobody could reach you for a few hours? Not because you were asleep, not because your phone was dead. I mean, actually, you intentionally disappeared. You put your phone on D&D. All my D&D warriors chop up in the chat, you know what I mean? I throw my stuff on D&D. My wife's real good about it. She throws her stuff on D&D at like 10 p.m. every night. I need to get on that, But just other times where you just didn't check your email. You didn't look at Slack, because why are you doing it after work? You didn't answer text, you just existed. And honestly, I think it's fair that a lot of us don't know how to do that anymore, because things have shifted so crazy in the other direction where we're just always available. Like I was saying earlier, that rectangle in your pocket's cool and shit, but like I don't need to be reached all the time. We've gotten to the point where being available all the time and being accustomed to that, it just feels uncomfortable. And maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Maybe it's something I think we need to get back, like the ability to disappear for a while without feeling guilty about it. So chime in the comments. Let me know, when was the last time nobody could reach you for a few hours? And more importantly, did you actually enjoy that time? Sound off in the comments and let me know what we doing on the side quest. I'm about to go turn this in to Headmaster, and I'll see y'all next time. Much love. Like, comment, subscribe. I respond to everything. So if there's something to respond to, see y'all later.